Hi, I'm Miss Cooksey. Today we're going to be talking about literal equations. For a lot of students, this is one of the scariest lessons we do, but it follows all the same rules we've already learned, so do not panic. We'll go through it together. First thing, we need to know what a literal equation is. It's an equation that involves several variables. You have seen literal equations before in school, you just might not remember it. One example of a literal equation might be, oops, that was an accident. Let's reset that page and come back. One example of a literal equation might be formulas. So previously in math classes, you might have learned a squared plus b squared equals c squared, the Pythagorean theorem. This would be an example of a literal equation. You have seen literal equations before. We're going to start with some simple ones, and we'll look at some non-literal equations to help us remember what to do, and then we'll look at some more complicated ones. So here are our simple ones. Let's start with a non-literal equation, x plus 2 equals 10. Well, I know to get x by itself, and I'm adding, I'm going to use the inverse operation of subtraction. So I'll subtract 2 from both sides of my equal sign, and I'm left with x equals 8. Let's practice the same thing with s equals a plus b. I'm solving for a, so I want to leave a on that side of the equal sign, which means I'm going to undo b. B is being added, so to undo it, I'm going to subtract. S and b are not like terms, so I can't combine them. So my solution is s minus b equals a. Next up, I've got 2x equals 10. 2 and x are being multiplied, and to undo multiplication, I am going to divide. That gives me x equals 5. The same thing is going to happen with d equals vt. This is actually a formula that means distance equals volume times time. Or not volume, velocity times time. We are going to solve for t. So t is going to stay by itself. We're going to try to undo v. V is being multiplied, so to undo multiplication, we divide, which tells us that d divided by v equals t. Last but not least, I have x divided by 2 equals 10. We know to undo division, we are going to use multiplication, so multiplying both sides by 2, x equals 20. In our next example, I'm trying to solve for m, so to solve for m, I'm going to multiply both sides of my equal sign by v, and that gives me dv equals m. Let's look at some more complicated examples. I've got 3 more. Here I have 4r minus b equals m. So this is a multi-step equation, and I'm solving for r. So I'm going to undo addition and subtraction first. So I'm going to undo this minus b. So adding b on both sides will give me 4r equals m plus b. Then I'm going to divide both sides by 4. And I get r equals m plus b divided by 4. This is my final answer. We don't have to go any smaller than that. Let's try x minus c divided by z equals y. I'm solving for c, so I'm trying to get c by itself. Well, we've learned before that when we have some sort of expression in the numerator of a fraction, there are actually invisible parentheses around that. So we're going to deal with x minus c at the end. That means we have to undo this divided by z first. So we're going to do that by multiplying both sides by z, and we get x minus c equals yz. I'm trying to get c by itself, so I need to undo this x first. I know we see subtraction here, but this is a positive x. So I'm actually going to subtract x from both sides of my equal sign, which gives me negative c equals yz minus x. I'm still trying to get c all by itself, fully isolate it, and there's a negative sign here. So I'm going to undo that negative sign by dividing by negative 1. So once I divide both sides of my equal sign by negative 1, I end up with c equals, I can either say x minus yz or negative yz plus x. Dividing by negative 1 changes the sign, and I'm allowed to change the order if I want. Last but not least, we have 2x plus 4y equals 8, and we are solving for y. We are going to start by undoing addition and subtraction, and I see that 2x is being added. So to undo addition and subtraction, I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides of my equal sign. That gives me 4y equals negative 2x plus 8. Now I'm going to undo multiplication, so I'm going to divide both sides by 4. And y equals negative 2/4 x plus 2. Or I can simplify that to negative 1/2 x plus 2. Notice when I divide by 4, I divide each term by 4. So each term in the expression by 4, so I can simplify it a bit. Again, this is one of the hardest things we'll learn in Algebra 1, and it really scares students. But if we remember our rules for solving equations, it's not tricky at all. So in this video, we talked about literal equations and how we can use our equation solving rules to solve them. Thanks for watching. I hope this video was helpful. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss a video, and I'll see you next time.